This video is from the Life Universe correspondent, reporting news of Life Universe. How to keep the absolute positive mind. The stances change, makes the change of perspective, and the change of perspective makes the different result. When people's mind shifted to relative negativity and relative positivity, from absolute negativity, it was a great development. We have been living with the thought that relative positivity is the best all this time. So it is difficult to suddenly change it to the absolute positivity. What's the reason? It's because we just accepted the absolute positive mind as a theory. We're still stubbornly sticking to the speech, behavior, and attitude of our old way. Once we have decided to keep the absolute positive mind, we now know how to distinguish between negativity, relative positivity, and absolute positivity. Hence, whether you look at yourself or others, if you come up with a negative mind, you can eliminate, shut it out, and not admit it unconditionally. If you're 99% negative and only 1% positive, just admit that 1%. Then, more and more, not only do you see the other person positively, but you also see yourself positively. Where are you positioning yourself? You're maintaining yourself in the absolute positive position. You can check yourself through objectivity, the other person. That's why we have to change our stance. If we change our stance, our perspective is changed. The shift in stance doesn't take 10 million years, but it can be changed at the moment we make up our minds. If you change your position to absolute positivity, your perspective is changed to view all good things only. You just have to change your mind, but it's not easy at first. So, try unconditionally and constantly until it's accomplished. Whenever and whatever you look at, you'll see, speak, and think of the absolute positive mind only. The negativity cannot exist at all. And you can realize that your mind is really changed for yourself. Will your mind change right away after doing this action just once? Our cells are full of negativity from our ancestors up to now. Would we change if we thought about the absolute positivity once and executed it once? Therefore, it is important to practice the absolute positive mind, unconditionally and constantly. Let me give you an example. Let's compare the situation in which people hate and confront each other to pulling a rubber band at each other. If the rubber band is cut in the middle, while each one of you are pulling it to win, the snapped rubber band will bounce off and hurt both of you, and the negative mind will be filled again. The length of the broken rubber band is each of their own. If one person lets the rubber band go first, in the middle of pulling at each other, the one who releases it first has no damages at all. Rather, it escapes all the negativity, and that person's mind becomes cleaner. On the other hand, the person who keeps holding on to the string brings all the wounds and negatives, due to the rubber band that the other person lets go completely. So let's not pull the strings anymore. Now, let's break ourselves free from this foolish and tough world. That's why I stress to change your stance. Emphasizing again, this is not a theory. It's not the result of changing my stance and perspective just for a couple of days. I'm only telling you the result of experimenting and succeeding in action for a long time. I have been doing it unconditionally and constantly to maintain this absolute positive position. Now, my mind is 100% positive whenever I meet anybody in any circumstances. With the absolute positive mind, can you imagine how wonderful phenomena will unfold as a result of keeping that mind? I'll tell you in the next video. It's such a priceless truth to keep to myself that I want to share it with a lot of people. So I hope you guys do it and be happy together. Thank you, from the Life Universe correspondent.